This No Man's Sky review is for 3 people. First, the tech aficionado who spends $400 to $600 or even more on a VR headset. Second is that person who played No Man's Sky at launch, bought into all of the anger, and then checks in on the game from time to time on just how good it is and probably put it down a couple of days later. And then third, the perpetual No Man's Sky fan. The person who has been here for months, years, or even since launch. That person who awaits every emoji, every patch note, every trailer, and soaks in every inch of speculation about what all of that could mean for now and the future of No Man's Sky. To the VR aficionado who bought No Man's Sky for the VR functionality, I personally am not a VR player and consider not even doing this review because I don't own VR and I don't have it. So I offer you this instead.
I've lost control. Oh God! I hate this. 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 Stop it. Stop it. Fucking stop. Oh, that was awful. Oh my God, I feel sick.
So take of that as whatever you'd like. To the second person, I say that, well, first, welcome back, and also, we're going on our 7th year anniversary for this game later this year, and, well, if you would have asked me at launch if that was ever going to be possible, well, I would have frankly cackled in your face like a hyena. No Man's Sky continues to get regular content updates free of charge and has never asked for more money out past the first buy-in price. Now, if you're that second person, you may eventually become the third person, the person who becomes a lover of No Man's Sky, who plays it regularly, and who integrates into the community and does the things that I mentioned before. And that becomes with a blessing or a curse. You see, because No Man's Sky is a great community, one of the best, as a matter of fact. It's a game that we absolutely adore. But there's one big issue. You see, this community lacks leadership. If you're used to a gaming community with any of the other games that you really like, having perpetual communication, future expectations, and interactions on how to improve the game going forward, you're going to find an unfortunate and shocking lack of that here in the No Man's Sky community. The No Man's Sky Fractal is for all of those 3 people, more or less. You see, VR functionality was already in the game since a couple of years back, but now, with a refresh for the hardware with PS5, that functionality has been greatly improved and enhanced. For those of you who are looking to pony up the extra Benjamins in this economy, Switch fans are getting a couple of extra features that didn't make it quite at launch, but players who have been here since day one, well, it's been sort of turbulent. You see, for those of us who have been here for years or even since launch, we have been here waiting for the 3 to 5 updates generally per year, drinking in every ounce of new content. But the No Man's Sky Fractal update doesn't really have much of that. If you take out the VR player, if you take out the Switch player, who's just joining us in the last handful of months, and you add the new or returning player through the Expedition, the Utopia mission that comes along with this update, that will surely be temporary until it's revisited later in the year, possibly, very little new was added to this No Man's Sky update. Sure, there's been quality of life improvements, moving some things around, enhancing menus. One could never be mad at accessibility options for those who couldn't prior enjoy the game because of some limitation that previously went unaddressed. And aside from a new helmet and a new ship that's locked behind this temporary multiplayer season functionality, players like me or players like you who just clicked this or players who are considering jumping in, clicking this, well, if you don't have VR, this update is but a sort of fleeting temporary feature with a couple of add-ons. Not to downplay Hello Games' hard work on this, I'm sure they worked very hard to make No Man's Sky run on a 6-year-old console that's the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure having full functioning VR implementation is a pretty big undertaking for such a small studio. But one thing that continues to be missing from the patch notes year after year, update after update, is a change in communication method. Talking to all 3 players here for a moment. No Man's Sky is and has always been one simple thing: an ocean of potential. Some years we feel like we're getting ever closer to realizing that potential, while other years it seems almost as if we're getting further and further away from that. Something that I have been saying for years now is that so much of No Man's Sky is foundational feature and functionality, but lacks the house on the foundation to really flesh out the true potential of this game. With No Man's Sky, the sky truly is the limit, but I'm afraid in the grand scope of things, we've really even just failed to scratch the surface. Year 7 should be a turnaround for No Man's Sky, or it should be the end, or at least the end as we know it. I'm reminded by a fellow content creator that so many years ago, Hello Games even indirectly provided us a survey of what us, the longtime fans, would love to see added and changed about No Man's Sky to realize that potential. And in the most shocking revelation yet in this history of this game, every single one of those items were prioritized and added over the years following. That includes virtual reality. I sincerely think that we should do that again, but really the climate of what we have right now is that Hello Games is not only supporting this game, No Man's Sky, but also working on whatever it is their next big project is. The studio is such a tiny studio compared to other AAA developers, Hello Games being an indie studio, of course, and I can only imagine how stretched thin they might be on whatever projects they have currently. So immediately when I think about the future of No Man's Sky, I really get this feeling that either the rest of the future of No Man's Sky will be relegated to bug fixes and quality of life improvements, or it's seriously ready for a shakeup and a refresh to really put that house on the foundation. Because without those things, I really wonder if the first player, the VR player, will become the third player. I really wonder if the second player, the person who regularly dips their toes in the pool to see if the water's warm enough yet, how will they become the third player? And to the third player, how do we expect them to stick around for what has undoubtedly become a long-running live service game that we didn't anticipate it to become so many years ago? After all of the struggles of our past with this game, No Man's Sky deserves to realize its potential. It deserves to reach for the sky and leave the surface. If you're any one of those three players, No Man's Sky Fractal does not give me the impression that it will. Certainly, this studio has proven me wrong before, countless times in fact. But this late in the game, I truly wonder if that's going to change now. I truly believe that this 7th year of this game's life is going to be make or break for that. If this review was useful to you, please like, comment, let me know what your feelings are of the No Man's Sky Fractal update, where we are as a community, let me know which player you are, and stick around in the LZ for more.